Hello and welcome to the STB Racing League here for the Season 22 Tier 3 Austrian Grand Prix, as Moncho has already left the session at this moment in time as we go into turn number 3 here on board with the new driver F1X Ben Suman. Going down into turn 4 now. The first one-shot qualifying for the Tier 3 drivers. Into turn 4 they go. Try and avoid the outside curb. It's a bit of a bump there. Be careful now, rotate turn 6, take a minimum amount of track possible. Swing it in for turn 6. Now leading to turn 7, all about committing as much speed as you can. The inside curb can catch people off. Now charging down to the last 2 corners. Very easy to mess up your lap here. Very important you get this right. You can gain or lose a lot of time. Oh, and I told you, Bennett's been gone. It's very easy to lose time, especially under pressure. And Bensuman has lost the rear end. And Sunflex and Gemma both been disqualified, so obviously invalidating lap times. Maldi's on pole position, and Toman's in P2. And alongside in the gun box, now ending this qualifying session, is Pistol. I don't know if you are in yet.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, have you got information?
So, Maldi, this is so key for him. Before I get into the standings, Maldi, this proposition breaks.
It's actually his first pole position as well, I think.
Exactly, that is his first ever pole position for any type of starting place. I mean, you say Grand Prix, it's a sprint race technically. I'll be that guy, but also this ends the streak of Side Effects' pole positions as well, which we've seen countless times already. Yeah, I think he has 5.
7.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous from Side Effects, and he instantly has been stopped in his tracks by his teammate Maldi, who sits on pole tonight for the sprint race. It's so key because going into this, 28 points is separating JMO and Maldi at the moment. Once that gap was 50, he has been disintegrating bit by bit by bit. Maldi's got to make sure he holds the fire and make sure he can increase or just keep this gap all the way throughout the rest of the season. But can he do it here tonight with such a, well, I wouldn't say difficult, but Austria is a track that does tend to catch up people with penalties. We'll wait to see.
Yep, and Mancho left. I'm not sure he's back in yet. I'm going to try and get him back in. It's looking a bit cloudy at the moment. I'm just trying to figure out how to get back. I'll need to wait for the timer to get back off. Now I can pause it.
Is there any formation up?
The formation up is off, so we're going straight out of the back. Moncho is online, I'm going to invite him. There we go. Luckily I have him on the EA friend.
Yeah. What I'm going to say though is Austria, the track in of itself, it consists of 10 turns. The first turn is the Nicky Lauda turn. Turn 2, but some people say turn 3 because that little kink going into the right hand. Yeah, I always call it turn 2. There's no way you can count that little kink as a second turn. But anyways,
count it as turn 3. So I do.
Yeah.
I'm a bit pedantic like that.
Yeah,
and
so
you have
that
turn
right
4, which is
hand,
down the hill.
Yeah, turn 4 down the hill. The very key thing about Austria is to make sure that you don't get caught up in a DRS trick, because it does tend
to
be impossible for overtaken. But here we go, 5 red lights.
Another glitch start on their end.
Glitch start. Green light, go, go, go! Here in STB, it's the sprint race for Austria. What a start that is from Maldi! Instantly warming up his tyres on the straight,
We need a lobby restart. Everyone's on glitch tyres, everyone's on soft tyres. Glitch start, we need to restart. It's happened again.
It's done it again.
We're back with you guys, so we're going to restart the game.
Yeah, right. You guys. Well, that's not
we'll actually pause the stream for now.
Yeah, that's better.
Instead of stopping it. I know, so you can just pause it.
Yeah, no one can hear
pause
us.
Means it's just pause. Yeah. It didn't happen in tier 2, but it's happened back in tier. I don't even know how it works and if it's just a random roll of the dice or whether it's a certain thing that happens, because it didn't happen in tier 2. So I always thought it was because if the host is racing, it would only the host will actually get it fit properly. Yeah. Yeah, so on softs you have like 4 stoppers, right? It's just gonna rain. I'll put it on drive for the sprint race, and I'll put it on random for the race. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put drive for the sprint, and then for the race, I'm not. I mean, I'm just sort of restarting my game up. The lobby's not even been close to being made yet. Alright, custom game, friends only. Yeah, it's classic Austrian, that is. Lobby's open. Alright, lobby's open.
Very typical for Maldi because he loves getting rear-ended.
Loves it.
I'm not saying I don't. Just saying.
It will have it on the stream as well. Right. I'm just going to against just to sort all the things out first. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, just have information off. Safety car increase.
No, that's Jamo. Jamo's got it.
On. Jamo's got it. Customize weather. Actually, no, I want to make sure the qualifying's off first. Yeah, no, I'm just going for it. Anything realistic? No, with custom, long, no qualifying. Right, custom weather. Sprint is going to be. It was cloudy, so I'm going to put light cloud and overcast. The race, and yeah, I'm going to keep it on random, dynamic.
Yeah, I have.
It just doesn't put itself as spectators yet, that's all. Right, grid editor, right. I can do grid now, and whatever's left, I can pick for. Oh no, hold on. I know why. I haven't put myself a spectator. There we go. Right, so especially when we go for the grid anyway. Right, hold on. Weekend structure. Grid editor. Right, pole position was STB Malgido. No, P2. Ooh. P3. P4. Alpha Z. I don't think Alpha Z's in. Oh, there he is, P4. He's already in P4. That's why. P5. João Alves. P6 is for Vita. P7. Mr. Chaotic. P8. The Dalvik guy. Oh, S says E Daniel, sorry. Yeah. P9. No, P9. P10. Delvik, yeah. P11. Parallel. P12. P13. P14 must be Boncher then, because his stake person's gone from. And then P15 is. And then you in Side Effects P16. Too late. Right, Moncho, I'll see. I was thinking, where's Moncho? He's gone from. He was in P2, he jumped all the way down to P15, P14. He'll be there at some point. Right, that's that.
Did you know that Winston Churchill's last word was "on board with it all"? Oh.
Yes, man, I'm just sorting the good out. Right, it's 18. Yep, it's all good. Oh yeah, I forgot it does it on perfect. This one. Formation is off, I can confirm that. No, nobody's left. Still 16. 16. It says 16. Someone might spectator. Approximate, hold on. Let's make sure the space formation lap is off. Formation lap off. Yep, it's all good. Alright, we're good to go. Oh. I paused the stream and it's actually started the streaming up off again.
Cheers. Okay, we'll put us on invite again, only again.
I paused the stream. It seemed to unpause itself.
In what time?
I don't know. I've just seen it still recording. So hello everyone. It's just 11 minutes in, so it must have been on for again for the last 5-6 minutes.
That's not good, is it? I thought my controller turned off for a second.
At least you know what's going on.
Yeah.
In the build up to it, right? So we are back in. Obviously, I'm already still recording. So finally, we fixed everything. Grid's all sorted, as you probably might have saw. Obviously, grid's all sorted. So cloudy, overcast is what it should be. So back into it now. Obviously, after now back into the sprint, formation laps off. We'll be getting straight into it. This time, we're able to get the right tyres.
Yeah.
Oh, setups. If you remember the setups.
Yeah. Well, what was I going to say before we went live here? Also, by the way, Trashpan just messaged me saying to turn off my TikTok because they could hear it on the live. I didn't know we were live because it was paused and it seemed to unpause itself. So I had no clue. I was just chilling by myself. But hey, you got to listen to some great Winston Churchill last words. So fantastic. Anyways, we're now going to load into the sprint race here in Austria in Tier 3. It's got to be a good race for Maldi. He stepped the first step towards getting a great successive 2 races here in Austria by first of all getting that pole position for the sprint race. Got to keep that P1 went up until the very end to gain 8 points. Of course, the points don't actually start until 8th place in the sprint races. So we now await.
So just make sure your audio's included. Just double check because we just paused it. Just make sure.
Yeah, it's included.
Okay, so good. Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
Alright, here we go then, folks. Here in Austria, it's the sprint race. Live on Twitch.
Yep, everyone's on the right side now.
Green line, go, go, go! Here in STB in Austria, and you can just see that's a good stop. There's a massive moment. Oh no!
And Alfa Romeo's round. That's Alpha Z.
Since that first turn, you could just see the AlphaTauri maybe turning as if the Alfa Romeo wasn't there. And instantly you can see a massive crash forming, and Ferrari's onto the grass. That side effect, he's going down this side. There's a little bit of a turn. McLaren has ghosted on track because of this, and side effects finds himself up into P12 of the Grand Prix. Now he sees Pirlo just beside him. Alves moving up position, overtaking. Memo also overtaking. He's side by side no longer. Mistake on the exit. He drops the position instantly off the start. You can just see Maldi still keeping his P1 for the moment in time, and it looks like not much action is going on in the field so far, except for side effects creeping up the inside and being turned, dropping down to a sad P15. And yeah, David, I saw that perfectly. I was bored with side effects. Side effects went down the inside. David turned into him and spun them both round. Really poor for the both of them, and you can just see how high flying Joe Alves here in this Grand Prix. He's doing absolutely fantastic. Or Maldi will get quite mad at me for saying Joe Alves is Joao Alves or something like that. But speaking of him, he's getting very close here to Elite Pit. Could he send it up the inside? Going into turn 2, he will. Oh no, never mind. It was on the back angle, so I thought he did send it down the inside, but he didn't. We can just stay patient. Something very key in the Austrian circuit, considering DOS is a massive thing. In this Austrian circuit, you can just see JMO here looking side-by-side action here with Daniel. Still side-by-side onto the exit, the Alpine having the edge so far. And he gets the overtake. JMO up into P9. Your thoughts on this start, Mafia?
Yep, pretty good start, obviously, for Joao Alves. I actually think that a lot of people was right when the grid was set it correctly. I think Alves, remember we mentioned, went down to 15 for a second. I'm surprised if Alvarez accidentally went into spectator mode. It's actually dropped him back to 16th. That's why he says he's 8 places up when he started. 8 places up would have put him 16th. But obviously, a change in the grid obviously didn't actually caught us out there. But I think that's more his fault than our fault. But we'll keep going for now. But he's had a good start, nevertheless. So putting him back where he should be, roughly. As messing now leading away, but side effects sets the first up race. But yeah, here we are. Like, young man's obviously getting a bit behind, close to Memo's, just falling behind him. But Young still has the DRS on Toman for now. Maldi available to pull away at the moment in time. Obviously, everyone's actually keeping quite close in pace right now. I was expecting them to spread out a bit more on this.
Of course, they're doing quite well at the moment, and Side Effects doing well to creep up the inside here of Alpha Z.
Toman's round.
Toman goes round into the double left-handers. That is such a cool sequence of turns. Catches out so many drivers, it's caught out the AlphaTauri, and he drops down to a depressing P10 and a leaping. He's fallen fatal to the last turn. And he's dropping down over to P12, could potentially to P13 if Moncho can get past. No, he can't. Of course, DRS is now enabled, and you can just see the gap, the massive gap.
Again. And he's round, Ping's round again at out of turn 1. It's a string of spins, and he's reset his car to the track. That's an instant 5-second time penalty.
And Memo here, looking to go side by side with Yilmaz. They're so close to each other. Haskell getting the edge. He is still down the inside. It looks to go here. Oh God, how Yilmaz and the Mercedes still. He's just so desperate to keep his nose in there, and he's still looking for it around the outside into the double left-handers. But unfortunately, has to forfeit the overtake down into turn 4. Wasn't able to complete the job, and he has to sit back behind Yilmaz for P3.
Yeah, while you're saying that, I was actually on board with some of the battles. Was Bertman and Alpha Z and Moncho all having the moments out of turn 3, and turn on Elite's Ping span around again. There's a big battle of all the compromise of Williams off the circuit, Bertman and off the circuit. Alpha Z cut up the inside of Moncho. Side effects went through as well. It was all forcing themselves out while you're in the middle of that in the middle of that pass battle.
Gonna have to interrupt you here because it's Mercedes on Mercedes here. It seems like Memo just having to. Oh no! Don't want to be doing that to your teammate. Memo was quite eager to even go up the inside on Yilmaz in the first place. He's tried to do it with his teammate almost at a consequence. Round the outside, Alves looking to go on JMO. Side by side onto the exit. A little bit of wheel bang on the exit, and it almost turns JMO into a ball, but he's able to defend his position, and he still maintains his P5.
Yep, JMO's gained 10 places off the start of this race. So has Alves. So it's just gained 4. And Meldy's the only one that's stayed in the same place.
Oh, you could just see.
Great start for these guys. Exactly what they need to get themselves elevated into the main race. Making life easier trying to charge for that victory. You got to mention it, Crystal?
This controller's not being nice to me. Really not. But it looks like Rafita's not being quite kind to Alves' position. He's overtaken him down the... I'm just going to call it straight, I don't care. Into turn 2. Looks like Alves creeping up that inside, forcing Rafita to go wide. And they're side by side onto the exit. You can see now Memo looking for another move here on his teammate, looking round the outside into turn 4. Can he get the manoeuvre? Done and dusted on his teammate. They're still side by side onto the exit, going into the double left-handers. Are they going to be brave enough to go side by side through here? Looks like they are. Memo still keeping up that inside, and a false fatal to Chaos. Loses 2 positions. JMO now trying to creep up potentially on Memo, trying to get an overtake on him. It looks like he stays behind, and Chaos, after battling with his teammates, falls down 2 positions in the in the sprint race.
Times Pirlo's around. Pirlo with a Perret, also Toman span again. Toman's gone from pretty much podium to out of the points now. So not great end for him. Johnny's now on the back of the Mercedes. All of these drivers are all low. No minds. Memo didn't quite get the memo of keeping the car on track as as he leaps back round and gets the car back going again. He's got to watch out for those tyres. It's going to be a bit warm to getting that car back round. And now Mercedes is now behind Alpha Z in the Alpha. Now the Williams up the inside of him, and he's outbroken himself. And he's slowed again. Those rear tyres are screaming for help.
Wall now. Benzema was into the wall after the exit, and he's retired from the session. Yeah, he just said, I can't be bothered.
For him. But unfortunately, he shouldn't have done that actually, because he's not going to lose places now for his neck for the race. So he should have stayed out, because this still fills the grid for the race. And wait on now, he's basically just sacrificed 4 or 5 places for no reason. It's Alves now picks up a time penalty. It's going to cost him a couple of places. This is, if he's not careful. It's got some batteries to use against Chaos. It's now plus 12 places. I think Mano's just spun again. Now behind Parallel.
Yeah, you can see.
Now starting to creep in.
You can see.
Mano spun again, I think. Yeah, a bit scary. Oh.
Alright, it's a massive crash on the track. My controller turned off whilst I was watching that, and in the background I was like, oh my word, what have I just seen? Because Chaos is now out of the sprint race after contact with Alves. Alves surely having wing damage after that one. He's now going to have to pit for a new front wing. Chaos is out. Both the Mercedes having a mare here in this sprint race, and this causes a safety car. This is awful for Maldi because he's got that 97% battery. He was doing fine and dandy, and now the safety car's out, and it's going to mess up his whole race. What's going to happen next?
Trends want to pit for fresh tyres, not Maldi decided to stay out, but will Cartel pit? He's not. I think he just don't want to risk losing that position. I don't think it's worth. And if you do pit, you can lose multiple places, and she's not going to gain all your places back in what 2 laps. That Williams is in the pit, which actually makes sense because obviously he's got not really anyone behind him. So this makes sense for him. He's got not much to lose. He's only going to lose like a place, so he can afford to sacrifice it. So the Alfa Romeo's in the pits anyway, so he's not actually going to lose any places here. He's got no fun wing anyway. Didn't even realise. So he didn't have no choice anyway. He had to pit. But as the Alpine David actually stays out, I wonder if she's going for track position. He's going to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo. So as all the cars filled up, obviously, remember there must be at least 2 laps left before the safety car ends. So the safety car will come back in at the end of lap 10. So they'll have this lap and next lap to catch up.
Yes, and if my controller couldn't disconnect, that'd be great. But nevertheless, you've got. I don't know if it's going to come in this lap. Sodefex is left a session. Can you? Well, I'll invite him back because you're obviously streaming. I'll invite him back. You've already invited him?
Yeah, we'll do
it. Didn't even give me a chance. Jesus. But
as soon as that, I was already on it. I got job on it.
But Maldi here, I mean, his race is pretty much just turned.
Hope that side effects can get back in before the end of the safety car. He's got about a minute to sort it out. Maldi continues to lead the way. Cartel behind him. Luckily, everyone's on the same age tyres, so no one's going to have any sort of advantage on Maldi. Maldi just needs to find some groove and just pull back some gap. With no DRS, so that's going to be profitable for Maldi. He just needs to make sure he keeps his exits clean.
Oh,
and
Rafiti's on the grass. Rafiti was on the grass. He's now dropped down so many positions. He's now trying to go up the inside on what is going on here. Everybody at the back, like Rafiti just went onto the grass. He dropped down like 8 positions.
The Alpine got a legal overtake on the Haas.
And then that's caused a kerfuffle. Remember when Elite Ping now finally going to join up the pack. With 2 laps left to go, Maldi's here in P1. He's doing fine and dandy. Safety car will be in this lap. So Kartan and Yilmaz. Pretty much all eyes are him, and my eyes are going to be on him as well. How is his restart going to be after the safety car? Because pretty much it's all or nothing for him to get this restart, to get it perfect. If he can nail it potentially into the second turn of the Grand Prix, tying up the inside on Maldi and get the overtake done and dusted. That's Maldi P2 going into, well, really, I mean, whilst the sprint race does count, the Grand Prix is definitely a much bigger deal than the sprint race in of itself. So, Cartel and Yilmaz for short. Now Maldi going to start his restart. It's a 3-second time penalty, but how's his start going to be for Yilmaz?
Jammer's got a penalty.
Yeah, this is the answer. And Yilmaz into the first turn. Yeah, it's definitely not been a good start or restart for him. Side effects finally joining us back here. He's going to be going back into that cockpit, hopefully. He'll be overtaking Jimmy soon, but he doesn't even need to be honest. And Toman, I think his goal round was just dropped down 2 positions. He's now dropped down 1 more. Definitely not a good start for him. On the restart, though, Maldi's able to keep his cool. Yeah.
Matt just going to go through.
There we go.
I can quite got the exit though.
It's
just
just...
open, 2 drivers almost. Oh, the Haas car, it's 3 wide almost. Oh, when he backed out. That's a Fita. Lucky trying to get some late positions to gain at the end of this sprint race. As Pirlo has pirouetted out of turn 4.
Yep. And pretty much it's the perfect restart for Maldi, just what he needed. And with random 1 lap left to go, he's in the lead by 7 tenths. Needs to maintain those 7 tenths. Across the line, he will shortly come claiming 8 points and then going to go on to be front of the grid at the start of... Oh, down the inside, sorry. I have to cut myself off. And oh no, Elite Ping spins into the wall. And he's put it into the wall there. My.
Elite Ping's just... And he's resetting the track for the second time this race.
Yeah, not a good race
barriers
for Elite 200 Ping. You can just see Rafita there. He's getting quite close over to Moncho. I don't think it's in a dive bomb territory. And Rafita agrees with me. Oh my god, the Williams of Alves almost just going straight into the back of Rafita. I mean, we said it in Portugal, when Alves is behind somebody, he finds it really hard to find his braking zone. And that's another example right there. Solifax finally getting back into that cockpit. He's getting very close here to Daniel. Is he going to send it up the inside here? He will. It'll be side by side. Into the left-hander they go. Into the second left-hander. I think, well, he doesn't even need that second left-hander because he's got the overtake. And side effects up into P4.
Yep, and he will get the P3 off side effect Gemma as well. So he'll be up to P3 as Maldi now comes across the last line.
Yep, Maldi comes around the last turn to take 8 points in the sprint race. Fantastic start to his weekend. And Maldi takes 8 points in the sprint race. He goes on to the Grand Prix. First on the grid. Surely, it's written in the stars, Maldi to potentially take all, 33 points for this weekend? I mean,
34 if he gets the fastest lap.
Yeah, I mean, Maldi has just had the perfect sprint race. Literally cool, calm, collected, job done. And, well, we'll see what he can do in the Grand Prix.
Driver of the day side effects. I'll give it to Jammo, I was. I think I'll give it to Jammo. I don't even know. Wait, what? I've never heard that before. Okay, that was new. So yeah, Maldi P1 for the sprint race, 8 points for him forward in the sprint race. Cartel to P2. Danovex P3, Gemma P4, Somontra P5, Avita P6, Daniel P7, Alpha Z P8. And out of the points is Gel Alves P9, Devi to P10, Toman P11, Mema P12, Peridol P13, Elite Ping P14, Chaos DNF, and so did Ben Suman, also retired from the sprint race. Pistol has decided to depart for a few minutes, and I'm not sure where he's gone. So the weird automated voice go into my ear saying BRB, which is new. But now, his drivers now onto the full race. I've had a bit of race practice now. Now it's on to the proper thing. Full racing points. Obviously, Jammer and Effects obviously climbed up the grid. Put themselves in a lot better places. Ready for this race. So they're able to fight for the victory towards Maldi. No longer have to fight for the grid. There's the one good thing about that. It's kind of like, it's one thing I don't like about the sprint races. is I don't like the idea how the sprint race is actually just determining the grid. That's the one thing I do like about this new shootout thing they got for Baku this weekend is that sprint race doesn't determine the results, the start for the race, because if you get taken out lap 1 on the sprint race, that's it. You start last. You could start pole, suddenly you get taken out, and that's it. You're starting last.
Yeah,
I find that a bit. I don't like that, to be honest. I don't mind the sprint race. I just don't like how it determines the grid. The one good thing about the shootout, but at the same time, I don't like this practice qualifying thing they've got on a Friday. It doesn't make any sense. Weird. Everyone's just going to act the thing as a practice session. In the last 5 minutes, they'll slap on a set of softs and just gun it.
Well, here we go. We'll wait no longer for the 36 laps around Austria here in STB. 5 red lights. Green light, go here in STB in this 36 lap, and you can just see side effects. Great start for him. Round the outside into that first turn. Haskell going a bit slow. JMO is able to get the overtake. JMO still looking for another overtake here, potentially on side effects as well. Hungry for an overtake, maybe down the inside into turn 2. Is he going to look for it? No. Stays behind. Round the outside. Yilmaz looks to go. JMO there side by side onto the exit. A little bit of the wheel spin in the background there for Menlo, but nevertheless, Yilmaz gets the re-overtake here on JMO into turn 2. Round the outside. Job done. Oh no, there's a massive moment between Elite Ping and Memo, and they
Oh no, they're touched again. They're both in the barriers.
Oh,
the 2 sounds will help him.
It was a dive bomb 1.5 from Elite Ping. He dived right down the inside. Memo was quite out of shape with that one. How wouldn't you be, to be honest? I'm going to be quite frank. How could you not be, quite out of shape after such a dive bomb? And then instantly afterwards, couldn't control this car. Both will be in the pit lane very soon. And that's ended their race practically on lap 1. Not things you want to see.
Yep, Memo will continue to lead. I don't know what happened to Moncho. Moncho, he went off the track onto the grass, let everyone through, and then he just continued on. I don't know what he was doing there. I don't know what he was planning in his head, but I'll just continue for now. As we've got a bit of extra tyres, we've got about half the grid on mediums, half the grid on softs, not softs, half the grid on hards. Bit of a mix, a bit
oh no, moment again for another McLaren. That's Daniel, and
he's lost it again! Yeah, lost it again there. Yeah, you lose it once, and then you try and put the power back down, and obviously you're asking for too much torque, and around she goes.
Yeah, indeed. And it seems like turn 4 to turn 2 to turn 2 to turn 3, that's what I'll say. Turn 2 to turn 3 is really where the drivers get caught out. Turn 2, you get a massive dive bomb that catches out so many drivers. Turn 3, it's easily the same, but that one you can get caught out on a curb and then spin. So those 2 turns seems to be catching out a lot of our drivers here, as side effect could be catching out Maldi's lack of awareness here of his defense. You can just see side effects into turn 2 will have that DRS. Is he able to get an overtake? We saw drama happen in Japan. Poor exit for Maldi, as Maffio has just said. Side effects versus Maldi. Are they going to battle for one more time? They are. Hards versus mediums. And it's side effects down the inside into turn 2. It's hard versus hards, actually. And you can just see him in the background looking to catalyse. Seems like he's been able to get...
down here.
And my controller, although it's not disconnected, actually. Maldi's able to push up into P1. Yilmaz down the inside on Jamie, side by side on the exit. Side by side no longer. Jamo re-overtakes, is able to stay stuck there. It's P3, oh my lord, side effects almost just going straight into the back of Maldi. He's eager to get this overtake on his teammate Maldi, and it looks like this battle between these 2 is not over. Is there going to be drama happening in Austria like there was in Japan?
You said Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean after the... Oh, well, you mean last race, yeah. Yeah. So I thought you meant Austria. All I heard was Japan. I was like what?
But side effects. Yeah, side effects though could easily overrule that lead because he's got that DRS going into turn 2. It looks like Maldi had a really good exit out of that turn, to be honest. And it looks like he's able to defend his position for the meantime. And it looks like a train between P4 to P1, and that could be catching out some drivers. Could be catching out Jamer. I mean, I think realistically, a DRS train isn't necessarily the thing to look out for is Alpha looking for the overtake on David. Oh, is David going to go for a cheeky switch back here? He might get it going into the two left-handers. Up and under manoeuvre. Can he finish it off into the two left-handers? These two sequences. I think he can. What a manoeuvre for the Alpine. That is absolutely fantastic. He's got the overtake. Or lap 4 out of 36. Switchback manoeuvre. Job done.
Medium's definitely helped him there. A bit extra grip. Obviously still on the hards. Giving a little bit extra grip nicely around the outside. Oh, told about not going around the outside. Pirlo has done a pirouette.
Yeah,
once again.
Yeah, Pirlo just really...
back on circuit. Pretty much almost dead last.
Oh, Maldi catching on to that surface curb into turn 1, but he seems to get a better exit off of it. Or the side effect.
He's using my setup. Well, he probably is. I'm not sure if he actually is, to be honest.
Anyways, nevertheless, side effects could be looking for the overtake into turn 4, but yet again, Maldi is just so good at the exits here on this track, it seems like. Well, it seems like it was the same thing in Tier 1, which I commentated on. Even though apparently you couldn't hear me half the time, so who cares. But in that race, you just had a DRS train off the DRS train off the DRS train as chaos is in. No! Chaos in all, because Betsuban just couldn't back out of the move. And that, yet again, another incident happening into turn 3. It's so common here in this race, and I'm expecting more drama to happen there soon.
Yeah, there's always something going on, especially around that turn 4. We've had a few instances this week through that turn 4.
Well, it's just see side effects here. Yeah. Side effects could be looking for the move into turn 1. Look how close he is. No, he's just going to stay behind. He just does not want to risk it.
Yeah, you don't want to overtake in turn 1. It's not something you want to do. Then you'll be behind into turn 3.
I feel like at this point you might as well overtake into turn 1 if you're side effects, because you cannot catch Maldi. Oh no, he can catch Maldi. Going into turn 2, he doesn't look for it. He stays behind once more. Oh no, he's been bumped on the back by J-Mo. Bumped from the back
so is J-Mo.
Oh no, a whole sequence of disaster.
Yeah, and now
for J-Mo.
David and Alvazir have now caught up to the back of his train as well.
So the one big DRS strain could be coming into effect soon. I said mistakenly it was a big massive moment for J-Mo. Of course, J-Mo was the creator of the massive moment for side effects, and that could have very easily took a side effects out of the Grand Prix if J-Mo was more careful, but if side effects was able to just not control the car as easily. So very scary and nervy moment. Somehow doesn't really change a thing, whilst the 4/10 gap is not ideal. It doesn't necessarily mean that side effects won't overtake him going into turn 3. You can see as the DRS now cuts that inside curve. That's the one thing that I think has a massive difference to Maldi. Maldi's able to take a much wider line out that turn, and in return it's able to give him a much better exit, and it seems that side effects just can't look for a move down into turn 3 no matter where he looks at it from. And side effects still having to stay behind DRS, and yet again you can just see Maldi pulling away out the exit.
Great traction, yeah. Side effects is on full power. I think both need medium traction control, but managing to get better exits.
Oh, and Williams is round. It's Bensuman. He's round into turn 3 once more. He's not had a good weekend.
Not at the time, no. It's not the first time I've seen him round at that corner. But yeah, Maldi's got superior traction, it seems. It's really helping him down these DRS straights. The straights are not they're long, but they're not long enough to really get to the top end of the speed of the car. So the DRS it's not always ultimately powerful.
I mean, I'm sorry. Surely side effects look for the move into turn 1. I mean, you might as well, because you can't catch him down the straight into turn 3. You might as well just end up the inside here, see what happens. Nice. Side effects, is he going to go for it? No. Doesn't, but...
Turn 1 is just such a risky place to overtake. I feel like it's just not worth the risk. It's not worth doing an instant, but now you're going to do it.
But here we go. Now, finally, side effects is going to have a chance to overtake Maldi. He's got the rundown. Into turn 2 they go. Down the inside, side effects goes here. Maldi looking for a switch back. Gets hit in the back by Yilmaz. He's able to go unscathed. Maldi looking for it one more time as Yilmaz and J-Mo still battling. Looks like Yilmaz coming on top of that battle. Down the inside, Maldi's looking to go. Offside effects.
Oh, there's contact between the two Ferraris.
Contact between the two of them. Maldi somehow gets out of it unscathed. A bit of an eager, a generous move there from Maldi. He's able to go unscathed.
Still alongside Maldi.
And yet again,
side by side.
Down the inside, they're side by side on the exit of the second left-hand and but it looks like Side Effects just has to bow out of it. You can just see how close Yilmaz is as well. Down the inside potentially here. No, don't do it. The Ferrari, don't do it. Oh my word. Oh god.
Yilmaz is lingering here.
It's like watching a horror magic show
Yilmaz
on Britain's Got Talent.
Look at Yilmaz. Yilmaz got the speed.
Right from Yilmaz. That's absolutely brilliant. Gets the overtake. Maldi, does he have the DRS going into turn 3? He does. Sorry, turn 2. Can he get the overtake? Maldi getting very, very close here to Yilmaz. Now he's alongside going into turn 2. Can he get it? Down the inside he goes. It's mediums versus hards. And now
there's contact.
They've been sent. They've been sent.
As your mic has disconnected, Yilmaz is round, but there's damage somewhere. That might be Maldi's front wing. And it's not, but there is more damage somewhere. As an Alpha Romeo's had a bit of a moment there. It's Alpha Z summoned to P3. And Jamo's been caught in it as well. Jamo's lost places. I think, he has a lot of understeer there. Jamo's the one who's got damage. Jamo is the one that's picked up damage. So Jamo, innocent victim in that incident, has lost his end plate. And unfortunately he's on the hard tyres, which means he will have to go to a 2-stop strategy here. Unfortunately, I think he's just going to keep going. He's just going to keep going. I think he just doesn't want to pit right now. Side Effects now leads the way onto. Side Effects wasn't expected to be in this position after all that. Cartel's now down to P8 after all that. It feels like a bit like the incident with me and someone else. I think it was last season in Austria. So it's very similar happens. You get on the exit and suddenly the one car in front just crosses over into your path and then both of you go round. And it really is not nice at all. Especially because it's straight, it's not quite straight. It's just people just kind of misjudge you. I don't know if anyone remembers me and Eke in season, I think it was like season 13 or season 14. I think it was in F1 2018. And me and Eke were going side by side down that straight and we ended up having a collision, P1 and P2. And we both ended up losing the podium and the victory alongside it. I think Daniel and Joe Alvarez, I think, have an incident together down the back of turn 1. But it's very easy to do so, and it looks like Pistol's back.
Yeah, sorry, my controller didn't even disconnect that time. It's my earphones. I had to unplug them. Everything's going on with my setup today. But it looks like JMO now is most likely going to get overtaken by Maldi from every way to Sunday. Maldi's going to get the overtake. He did tell me before this race, though, that he didn't necessarily matter to him if he won the race. He just wanted to finish above JMO at all costs. And this played right into his hands, whilst he definitely did not intend it.
Jamo's got damage.
Well, here we go. Maldi, surely this is easy pickings for him. Down the inside he goes on JMO. They're side by side. Going into the mid-term, and he's pushed him off. Oh, no. And JMO's gone wide. He has damage. Everything's going wrong for the Alpine. He's within DRS, though. He might just be able to hang on. And Alpha, look at Alpha, by the way, on the screen. He's getting so close to Side Effects. He's had an absolutely wondrous start to this Grand Prix and potentially could overtake for P1 if Side Effects is not careful.
Yep, Alpha's come out of nowhere. Obviously took advantage of that incident. Obviously, Jamo's dropped down and got damaged.
Jamo's got a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, that's for the understeer. That's for the understeer with that front wing damage. Obviously, Maldi was caught in it, so Alpha's gained like 4 places from that incident. Obviously, now Yilmaz is now down to P8 after all of that.
I
so
think
he's having to play a catch-up game.
If you look at this from Maldi's perspective, this is not necessarily a moment where he's worrying. This is not necessarily a moment where he's contemplating what he do.
But I think he's very annoyed, but it's not going to be. He knows if he can just get in DRS of David, that will catch him back up to the other two. So it's not in the world yet.
Yeah, I feel like Maldi is definitely, and evident to the standings, of course, much quicker than David and Alpha. Should be able to overtake them, and then once he's in the presence of Side Effects, that's a battle I'm very interested in. I think I say when, not if, because I do believe that Maldi will overtake these two. He has just so much confidence in his car. And the Side Effects also is equally, that's why this battle is interesting. Both the Ferraris, this is why they're top of constructors by like 100 points, which is insane. Side Effects and Maldi have so much confidence when they go each and every turn. I mean, unless they're side by side with the Yilmaz. But yeah, just they're so confident they can go side by side with anybody on the exit of the turn. They're great on the entry of the turn. They're both great. That's also, I think, what's JMO's actually kind of lacked off the start of the season, because he had an absolutely fantastic start of the season. but he has just dropped off. I think just mainly in terms of pace. In terms of his actual ability to overtake, he's been absolutely brilliant. Like, every single race has been absolutely perfect at overtaking. It's just the pace where he's just dropped off as more rounds have come in and more rounds he's lost points to Maldi. There's more of his mentality goes into a negative way, and then therefore that gets a more worse performance into the next one. I think when he's at the points right now, I think all he can think to himself is potentially championship's over.
That's Pirlo, I think, round again. He's almost about to get laps already, and we're only at lap 12.
Pirlo pirouetting.
Yes, thank you very much. Anyway, obviously he's just hanging in there for STB, but obviously just showing STB is a bit stronger driver than Alpha-Z. Obviously he's a very solid driver in his tier 3 grids, but he's not quite full sort of race winning sort of pace compared to, say, STB, Maldi.
David's round!
Like Yilmaz.
David's round, and he almost went into the pit lane because of it. He resets the track, and the Alpine...
He doesn't actually, I don't think. I think they might do actually, I'm not sure.
That was awful for him. I mean, just spun on the right-hander going into the last turn. It looked like it was coming into the pit lane at first, and then this car sideways, and I'm like, oh, I've got to point this out. He's round, and well, repositioned from Aldi. He's now got to hunt down Alpha, where he is level really in terms of ERS. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Well, he's already put it.
Emerson. Ban again.
Yeah, he's not had a good
Okay,
race. Not had a good race at all. But
he has
man,
pace, but doesn't seem to have a setup that seems to work underneath him for consistency.
you could just see that Alpha right here, 6/10 behind. I mean, side effects, which is evident by Japan and this race, he's definitely not a man necessarily who's not going to help his teammate. But in terms of a championship battle like this, he's not gonna not go for an overtake. He's not gonna have a battle with you. He's not gonna help you in terms of, I'll defend this guy so you can catch up. He's not that type of person. I feel like his mindset is more, I'm by myself, you know, I'm a solo driver, I'll do what I can on track, try and get the best positions I can, which in my eyes is fair enough.
I'll cut you off here, because Yilmaz and David are going side by side. David actually gone off the track. There was a back of Yilmaz. Yilmaz actually trying to go up the inside, and David actually held it around the outside, but now Yilmaz has the straight line speed again into turn 3.
Here comes Alpha!
Oh, been hit.
On side effects! Down the inside Alpha goes, on side effects going into turn 3, a side by side onto the exit, side by side no longer, and it looks like side effects gets the re-overtake. Yes, he was P1 for a split second Alpha, but it still counts. Side effects is back into P1 of the Grand Prix. A little bit of a scare, you could say, for side effects. Maybe a little bit of a wake-up call, you could say. Be like, come on, you got to wake up. This is the time to push, try and get away from Alpha. I mean, of course, DRS is so key, always in this Austrian circuit. And if he's able to just beat out on DRS, then I do feel like that battle will come to a sufficient end.
Yeah, as obviously Maldi be hoping these guys will fight more. But also, STB had a good lap. Maldi's not had the greatest laps, I don't think. The gap's still around 3 seconds after that battle. So Maldi's really needs to be taking advantage of these battles here. Maldi's to hope these guys fight more to try and catch back up.
But yeah, and you can just tell that, you know, the Ferraris. I'm going to ask you, Matthew, if you think the Ferraris would help each other more, do you think that the championship in terms of Maldi, would it be seen as a whole new perspective in terms of Maldi would be winning like 70 points? Do you reckon that if they did work together a little bit more, would you reckon our understanding of the championship standings right now would be shifted, would be changed in any manner?
Well, I don't know. It depends on the championship. Regardless, I think not until one of them actually mathematically wins the championship, I don't think either of them will be helping either of each other. To be honest, unless it's in a specific, on a very certain scenario. There's cars scattered all over the place. Actually, it's a virtual safety car, not a full safety car. So I think Elite Ping might be killed. No, Elite Ping doesn't pit with a broken front wing, and he gets another penalty.
Yep, not been a good day for him.
Perfect time for Yilmaz actually to come into pits here. And 5-second time penalty for Maldi and Gunderson.
Oh no. That is awful.
And Maldi's,
That is awful.
Maldi's got down to 5th place. How the hell has that happened?
I think
Maldi's
it's...
got no front wing. Maldi's got
What
no
is
front wing.
going on?
And the full safety car's out now. The full safety car's now out.
So Mari's going to have to pit. And he was telling me, this actually might be a blessing in disguise, Matthew. I'm telling you this now.
Full safety car is going to be
Maldi told me that he's looking for an extreme hunter. Before we went into this, I was just talking to him. I was chilling on FIFA, and it was like, well, Silent, I'm looking for an extreme undercut. And I said I might put like around lap 19 on my hard tyres, see if I can get a big undercut, move up some places. Booyaka, in his own words, of course. I do think that 5 seconds will be removed. I feel like that must have been something to do with coming out the pit lane.
He was serve it in the pit lane.
So yeah, you're coming to the pit lane now.
It's served, you can't remove it. It's just one of those things you can't do.
Yeah, and Maldi, he like I said, best blessing in disguise potentially. Maybe he serves that 5 second time penalty. He gets a new front wing. He then pits onto the mediums, which he will do now. He kind of wanted this because he wanted to get an extreme undercut. This is what he wanted to do. And this could be great for him. He did give me an example of what's his name? Lucas Blakely, who moved up apparently 9 positions just because he had a big undercut in Austria on just new medium tyres. Yet again, people as well are going to be doing that. So RFX also did. That's why Marty had a little bit more of a hold up, which is why he's dropped down more positions. But
hey,
I
Marty
do
the 5 second time
like...
penalty. I don't remember him serving it.
No, he has served it. Yeah. He served it.
I was on board with him going to pit lane. I don't recall them waiting 5 seconds.
Well, I did it for mine, so it might have been a glitch on your end, to be honest.
Don't know. It says 5 second time penalty, and then he just went in pits and he just went straight to changing the nose, from what I remember. I might have just been daydreaming at that point. I don't know, but I don't remember them waiting 5 seconds to prepare the car for me, or remember they went straight on it.
Yeah, but this. I mean, Simmons got 12 second time penalty. Leaping's got 9 time penalty. That's 2 positions already for Maldi. Like I said earlier in the stream, Maldi he doesn't necessarily want to finish first. He told me that he doesn't want to finish first. Well, I mean, if he did finish first, it'd be great for him. But he did say,
kind of bullshit, to be honest. Maldi wants to win regardless, isn't he?
Yeah, but he did say to me his main priority is not to win, but rather to just finish above of J-Man, and that's it. And so far he's succeeding in that. Yes, I still do worry about side effects then. Come the end of the season, if he gets this win, he could be a big danger to Maldi, and you can just see Maldi right now is getting extremely mad at Bensuman inside of the chat. I'll read what he says. Apologies for the language. He says, "Are you blazed?" At, of course, Bensuman. What the actual fuck? So, yeah, Maldi definitely not happy about this. I mean, why would he be? So, I mean,
I've been leading the job to his race, and the fact that he's been taken out like that is obviously not good. I don't know how it happened under the virtual safety car. Well, I don't know if Emerson was in the pits or something. It came out in front of him or something. I don't know.
Well, it's something. The worst thing about that one is that you can't necessarily get that removed because, like, in terms of, well, he has got it removed in game. But what I mean is, like, you could just keep the time penalty in after the race. Just go ahead and send it into the stream. But you can't really do that with the time penalty like that, which is why I feel like that's the most annoying thing for him. He can't necessarily easily get this off his chest after the race and be like, "Yep, I'm good. I finished in my original position like I should do." You can't do that. So, I mean, it's just all doom and gloom right now for Maldi. In terms of where he is, in terms of actually being above Jimmy, he's in the moon right now because Jimmy has that 3 second time penalty, of course. I'm going to load up the standings right now and tell you how close Side Effects is to J-Mo. And potentially this could invite him to actually finish second and maybe rival him right until the end. Side Effects to Maldi. I'll load it up, let me see. So Side Effects is around 20 or so points. Hold on, 21, and then, yeah, 26 points. that's going to be a 1 point gap between JMO and Side Effects come the end of the race if it does stay like this for an extra 16 laps. Side Effects will be 1 point behind JMO going into next week, which is France. And
Maldon's just let David through. He's
Yeah.
got a legal overtake.
Yeah, he's got
I think
legal
Maldi's
overtake
gone
there.
so. I think Maldi went so slow to the point where the Alpine was able to pass him and not get a penalty, and now he's got ahead of him.
Well, Matthew, what would you like to focus on? The battle up top for Side Effects, or do you want to focus on Maldi?
All of it.
All of it. Oh. I mean, as in, like, who do you want
I
your
don't
camera
know
on?
Sorry.
Who do you put your camera on? Is what I'm asking.
What do you think is going to win this race?
No, who are you going to spectate on the restart?
Well, I wouldn't be Side Effects for the start. Oh, no, Memo has not got the memo of not spinning under the safety car, and he's now lost.
Well, he's gone.
For now.
Memo's lost. Is Side Effects going to get
He's gone.
lost on this restart? He's gone. And here we go, out the last. There he goes. Alpha, look at that start for Side Effects. Instantly 5-10 gained on Alpha going into the first turn. You can see Maldino getting very close here to David down the inside. He goes into that first turn. Can he get the overtake? Has the edge going into that turn. Actually, switch spot manoeuvre. Potentially in order. Toeman getting the overtake here on Moncho. You can just see David coming right back at him here. Look at the pace he's got. Look at the slipstream. Look how much effect that is. That's giving him right now. Maldi having a little bit of a hard time potentially. And you can just see the battle up forwards. Rafita being pushed off wide by, Elite Ping. Elite Ping getting another position as well. It's not necessarily going to count because, of course, you have the time penalties. But he's going to be side by side here with Moncho. He goes on to the curb there, Elite Ping, and has to forfeit the position. Benzema has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Jomo's not in the point still.
Oh, Elite Ping's round.
Contact.
And Maldi takes advantage of this.
He's got two possessions and one now,
it.
taking the advantage of Rafita slowing down because of that spin. He then goes up the inside into one of the turns here on that left-hander, able to get that overtake done and dusted. It's now, Maldi, if he overtakes Moncho, he's then in 4th place. I just do think if he gets 4th place in this Grand Prix, I think for his eyesight, he'd see that as a win.
Yeah, I think Maldi's just going to be targeting maybe Yilmaz now. Obviously, Yilmaz is on his hard. He's going to be slow for these next 10 laps or so. But Yilmaz's race will come in the last few laps when these mediums do start to fall away, because they do 2 laps before. They do pit a little bit earlier than they would normally would. So these mediums are going to be a bit worn towards the end. So Yilmaz will be hoping to hang these sides onto the end. Hopefully have some better grip towards the end of the race.
Well, I feel like all this drama, we haven't really spoken about Side Effects in his Grand Prix so far. He's actually done very well for himself in his Grand Prix. Yes, drama surrounding him, maybe giving him 3 positions, quote unquote, but he's got to keep that position. And so far, he's done that perfectly. This is a really good stint so far from Side Effects, and if he does get the win, I feel like it's fully deserved.
Oh yeah, he's not really putting on much of a foot wrong at the moment. I'm sure Maldi deserves probably just as much as him at the moment, but I think Maldi's been quite unfortunate.
Yeah, the thing is though, now Matthew, you're not, sorry to cut you off, that was a bit rude of me, but now that we have the DRS coming into play, it's going to be much more easier for Maldi to overtake Moncho. He has more pace as well. Somebody's going slow there. I think that's, who was that who went off track there? Was that Toman? No, it wasn't. I'm not too sure who that was actually. No, it's just Blue Marcus R. It's probably...
Elite Ping's round.
It's Pirlo. Pirlo's there. He's just confused me. He was ghosting it. It was confusing me, alright? But Maldi, this DRS coming into play, like I said, big factor for on the Austrian circuit. He'll get the overtake easy. He has more pace than Moncho in just general. And once he gets the overtake, I do believe...
Elite Ping has just crashed on the straight at turn 2. Lost his front wings.
That's not good for Elite Ping. Probably did, to be honest. He's having an awful race.
Well, he's got like 10 seconds of penalties, so he won't get much anyway.
Wait, that's a roast and a half. Anyways, Maldi here going to have that DRS wide open. He's also...
Alves is round, and so is Jamo. There's been an instant. Jamo's broke his 2nd front wing of the race. Alves has gotten away with any damage, and he will continue on these hard tyres. Jammer's in the pits. He's on 18 lap old hards anyway. I'm surprised Jammer didn't pit for certain mediums under the safety car, to be honest. I don't know why he didn't actually do that. It's only just ruining his own race. And now Toman's all over the back of Yilmaz. And so Maldi's all over the back of Jamo. Maldi's looking to get the move here.
Yep, here he comes. He's almost on it with Muncher going into turn 3 down the inside. Maldi goes much more brave when the brakes than Muncher is, and that's an easy overtake. It's almost like Muncher wanted him to get past. And Maldi up into P5, but technically P4. So far, I personally would see this as a win for Maldi.
Well, he's going to show us being ahead of Jamo. After Jamo is now down to P14. Jamo's consistency has been thrown out the window.
Yeah, it's
as now obviously now down to the points. He's actually gone to an older set of mediums. That's why he didn't actually pit, I think, now, because he didn't have a fresh set of mediums to go on to. And one set of tyres with half a lap to go on set of mediums obviously wasn't going to work very well.
You can see how close Rafita is. Oh, sorry. You can see how close Rafita is, by the way, to Moncho, and now he's looking for the move now. And I think he's just got it done and dusted. Maybe on Maldi as well. No, he backs out of it. And no!
Oh, he's got out on the gravel. Yeah. Got ambitious there. He got a bit too ambitious there.
I don't even know. I don't even know what he's thinking, to be honest. I mean, not very well I'm able to critique a driver's ability because I'm awful at the game, but at the same time, what was Rafita thinking? Was he looking from around the outside, or I'm not too sure.
I think he's just obviously outbroke himself a little bit, and obviously it seemed like he actually slowed his car down, but I think he just got a little bit cautious and then got off the track. And obviously, as soon as you get off the track, you're on the curb, you're on the dirt, and obviously at that point, you're off the circuit, and then you just set yourself wise because it is a dirty part of the circuit, low grip. So I think that was more of a precaution than anything else for him. He just didn't want to hit the back of Maldi in any sort of way. Yeah, flags. So there's a Mercedes. Chaos is around at the second to last corner.
Well, Maldi could be on for second place here, by the way, Matthew. He's definitely got the pace up on Yilmaz because Yilmaz not pitting for the mediums. He's got quite worn out tyres.
Nice tyre circuit.
Yeah, and Yilmaz with such a worn out tyres, he's just catching up so far. Look at Alpha, by the way. I don't even notice it. He had 1/10 going into turn 3. He's absolutely busting it. Those 3 seconds, though, coming at a costly price. I'm just going to take a look one moment at the time penalty, well, the warnings / time penalties. I'm going to take a look at side effects first. View his lap times, and so far he's had 2 warnings.
Hold on. You can just do it through the MFD, you know.
Oh well, I don't care. And Maldi, of course, having that 5-second time penalty, he's had also 2 warnings as well. Oh no, 3 warnings as well. So if he puts one more foot wrong, he's got time penalties.
Well,
so
3 warnings. It should be a penalty, unless that was a different warning for something else. Yeah, it's 3 warnings for a penalty. It is not 4.
Matthew.
Yes.
I've got a problem. My race director's not.
You went into race, yeah, I forgot, but you can't go on race director during the sprint race weekend. It just glitches it out. You have to leave the lobby and rejoin.
God, what an awful game this is.
I heard that, and obviously my brain went, hold on. I forgot, you can't. Yeah, it was me. I mean, I mentioned it yesterday. Like, hold on, we're about to go on race director. You can't go on race, even during the race, or if the sprint is enabled. And if you go race director any time during the one-shot qualifying, the sprint race, or the main race, it just you can't get off it. So you have to restart your game.
What an awful game!
That's an issue. Yeah, it's fine when you know in the normal races, but it's in the sprint weekends. Just doesn't like it. It's one of those things you have to be aware of. Yeah, obviously. Oh, that's parallel. So I went on side effects and then pressed the LT button, and it went down to the Alfa Romeo, and I thought it was Alpha C, but actually that was it's parallel. It put down to P14. Obviously, it went from 1st to 14th. So almost thought I almost had a heart in the mouth moment there, but actually, obviously, still 4 tenths behind. Side effects. Toman's 4 seconds behind. Where did Toman come? Toman's actually got past Yilmaz. Not sure when that happened. Whether it happened a few laps ago. He's now 1.6 seconds behind these 2. I think Maldi can get ahead of these 2 cars. I think Maldi would take a P3, but considering Maldi was pretty much dominating this first part of this race, I don't think he's going to be very happy with it. Pirlo is just not quite got the script of not spinning it. I think he's destroyed his rear tyres.
Yeah, I just think Pirlo just kind of needs to understand, like, spinning's not a good thing.
Well, having to keep retiring all the time is not going to help either. I mean, he's coming to the pits very slowly. I think all of them is going to retire from this. Yeah, he is retiring. Yeah, he's 2 laps down effectively at this rate. It's no point for him. And Peters picks up his time penalty. And yeah, after this round, and you might want to get out neutral first, mate. And he resets the track. That's another 5-second time penalty to a driver.
Has Alves spun?
Yeah, Alves. He's down P10 anyway. He's not really near anyone. Oh, what have I just missed? Alpha's ahead of side effects. He's got 7/10 ahead of side effects. None of them have a clue when that happened. I'm just looking at bloody Pirlo for fuck's sake. Oh, and obviously on both of them have a moment. Obviously and Thingy both have a little moment there.
I feel like right now, Jamo's just wanting to keep P2 at this point.
And my game's glitched. The race is finished on my end. Everyone's just gone into AI mode. Great. I'm going to have to leave myself now. The game's finished on my end. It's been a glitch. The race will still be going. So if when you're going in, you can continue to...
Yeah, I'll try to be I'll try to be as literally detailed as I can possibly be.
Yeah,
to know.
I just got to the point where it starts playing the F1 theme tune and everyone says like it's finished and all that blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I got all that.
I saw migrating house at the bottom and I was like, oh god, have I disconnected from the lobby already, or has there been a lobby restart?
I noticed initially, I was like, why? There's no way that's Alpha Z is ahead of side effects by that much. Then I noticed that driving is very AI-ish. It's too smooth.
Hold on.
It's very robotic.
Alpha's still ahead of side effects by only 3/10.
Oh, okay. Now. So that is the case then.
Yeah, that is the case. But side effects
just happened just after the overtake.
Yeah, side effects is still doing very well though. He's literally right up his bum. Like, I
wonder if Pirlo's moment actually frazzles it out a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was still there. Gemmo's into last place, by the way, and he couldn't get an overtake on the lead thing. Yeah. Maldi's on the back of Yilmaz with 7/10, but more importantly, side effects is 2/10 behind Alpha Z. Potentially some drama between these two for P1 in the Grand Prix. I mean, it could occur.
Back in.
Here we go. Here comes side effects. Very close here to Alpha. Does he look for it into the first turn? No. Backs out. Maybe looking for it into the second turn. DRS going to be wide open now for the Ferrari man. Can he get the manoeuvre? Done and dusted on the Alfa Romeo. Here we go. He switches to the outside lane. Can he get the manoeuvre? Done and dusted. Maybe a switchback manoeuvre. No, keeps it round the outside. Alpha is much more nervous on those brakes. And side effects gets the manoeuvre done and dusted round the outside. And he re-overtakes for P1 in the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yep, John picks another time penalty. A bit of a battle for the wooden spoon there at the back of going around the last sector. Amount of time, but there's lots of warnings going on. Everyone's going off the circuit. What's going on there? This is not IndyCar where there's no track limits.
This is not IndyCar when there's no track limits.
You'll see what happens. You'll see what they do for the second to last corner at Dakota. They'll just completely ignore the big white line. You see the F1 camera have to go, oh, look at the speed that Elite's got.
Oh! Side effects is dropped down!
Side effects is round! He's spun out of the final corner and Maldi's about to pass him. This is crucial. And Maldi takes ahead of his teammate. So now Maldi's the leading car out of all those leading races. Now everything Maldi gets now is just a bonus, I think, for Maldi now. But Maldi will still want this podium off Yilmaz, and it's all about penalties after that.
Well, I was not expecting this.
Disqualified.
Unbelievable.
I'm not surprised with that with Benderson. I've seen him pick up about 10 penalties this race.
Yeah, and he's disqualified. That's a bad one. Like, you know, going bloody hold on a second. Going out of a Grand Prix as in a DNF, it's one thing, but to actually like full on disqualify from the session, that's another. It's very poor from him. Hopefully he can sort it out for the next race.
Yep, I saw the freaks have a moment of your facts. I think I had a little bit of moments through turn 4. Actually, I didn't think he actually spun there. He might have had a half spin. Now he's still on the back of Yilmaz. Got DRS, but it's a bit further behind at the moment. Not quite as close as you think he would probably want to. Yep. I think it's getting to that point now where those hards, I think, are just starting to come back into play here. These mediums are just starting to get on. They're 15 laps old. Obviously, they did a couple laps of safety car, but nonetheless, they are coming towards the end of their lives.
Oh, bit of a mistake there for Yilmaz, and now here comes Maldi. Down the inside it goes, a very easy overtake, but Yilmaz going straight back at him here. They're side by side going into turn 3 here in the Austrian Grand Prix. Round the outside, Yilmaz looking to go. Oh, STB Maldi, they're side by side going onto the exit. Who's brave on the brakes? Looks like Maldi is on the exit. He's got a better exit, but he's coming into the double left-handers. They are still side by side. This is unbelievable scenes. Yilmaz having the better turnout of that first turn of 2 of those left-handers, and he gets the overtake, the re-overtake. What a fantastic battle between 2 fantastic drivers, and Maldi has to forfeit his overtake, and he sits back down into P4.
Yep, Yilmaz, I think he's just got the grip now on those hards. But then side effects is now very close to the back of Maldi. Maldi doesn't seem to have quite the pace at the moment in time. He's also had a poor exit. That's also affected side effects. But Maldi's now back on the run as Yilmaz is running out of ERS here. Maldi's not too far from running out either. And Yilmaz actually gone wide again, but not as wide as last time. He's got a nice exit to defend him.
Whoa,
McLaren should have been on the circuit. And he wasn't ghosting for us, so I'm not sure whether it was not ghosting for them either. But I'm sure they definitely would have preferred to avoid him, just in case he isn't ghosting. Last thing you want to think, yeah, he's ghosting, he'll ghost, and then actually never ghosting.
Was that Elite Ping?
That was a Elite Ping, yeah, in the middle of the circuit. I'm not sure how he's crashed there, whether his car bounced back onto the circuit. Off the arm code. Sideworks is very close here.
Yep, here he comes.
Yeah, Yilmaz's tyres are just in better condition.
Oh, he spun! He spun! And side effects, it's round for the second time in this Austrian Grand Prix. That is unbelievable. What? I mean, I can't lie. I've got to say side effects. He's absolutely bottled it. He's gone from P1 all the way back down to P6 in quick succession due to 2 spinnages, and now he sits behind Moncho by 6 seconds.
Yep, that's unfortunate for him now. He's got no penalties to really gain advantage of either. I'll tell you, he can take advantage of penalties, and that's Maldi and Cartel at this moment in time. Both of them might be able to take P2 and P3 off Toman.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
the way the pace is going.
Definitely.
Off Blacker now.
Definitely Maldi's in the points. I feel like if Man is able to overtake Yilmaz and somehow drastically gain a lot of time, it's just not going to happen. I do feel like, hold on, who's going to win this, actually? I think it would be Alpha, yeah. And so Alpha lets us tick by into the 36th lap out of 36. And the Alfa Romeo, he's had the greatest race I think I've personally seen from him. Out of nowhere, from the start of this Grand Prix, started mid-table, and all of a sudden he's been able to shoot himself into the top spots, where there's glory, where there's battles, where he can finally address himself as a quality driver on the track. He gracefully swept through these turns, and due to it, he's had overtakes, he's had positions gained, positions lost, he's had battles left, right and centre, and Alpha has been able to prevail all of those who have tried to overtake him as well. He picked up
Maldi's pass, Yilmaz!
Yeah, Maldi now going to be side by side here with Yilmaz going into the left-hander here. Can he get the overtake? And he's down the inside into the left-hander here. Can he get the maneuver down? He cuts him off. And it seems like Maldi's up into P3.
And Maldi's got the gap on Toman. Oh, Yilmaz is round! And Yilmaz is span on the final lap. Look, he only lose one place.
Round the last turn, and Alpha will come across the line to get 25 points for the Alfa Romeo Racing Team and for himself. No, Maldi's won! Maldi's won the Austrian
No, it's got to be
Grand
timing
Prix.
glitch. There's got to be a timing glitch there, surely. Surely there's got to be a timing glitch. Moncho's P3. There's got to be some sort of timing glitch or something. Surely not. There's got to be some sort of timing glitch. I swear to God, I have to see after the race. Maldi was like, Maldi was. It says 3.2. Maldi was behind behind Toman, sorry. Toman's now behind Moncho out of nowhere. Moncho was nowhere near these guys. I think it might be a timing glitch. Because these don't look representative to my end, they just look a bit funny. There's no way Moncho was nowhere near these guys. Unless Toman had about 15 seconds of penalties.
I mean,
Gemma and Alves are both going for the fastest lap here. If Gemma gets it, it will get an extra point. But if Alves gets it, Gemma doesn't get the extra point.
I genuinely don't know who's won this then because of time penalty glitch. I do feel like Maldi has won it though. Maybe.
I don't know. We'll have to see it in his race. Whether that's the case, we'll see what the penalties.
I mean, it's not like it's like far-fetched. It's not like, oh, I've had 2 seconds time penalty and all of a sudden, like, Maldi's P1 even though he's 12 seconds behind. I do feel like the game's got it right then. I do feel like it's a win for Maldi in my books. Let's take a look though. Just loading up for me. But anyways, I feel like even though maybe it's not the actual end result, we'll say it, or I'll say it anyways. Maldi,
even Maldi's surprised. So I think that might be a timing glitch.
Maldi will come onto the top of the step podium and takes home 25 points. I did say that afterwards.
Definitely a timing glitch. Definitely a timing glitch there. Maldi's got a 7.0. That's actually legit or not. That gap was about 4 seconds. It was about 5 seconds to Alpha Z from Maldi. No way he's caught that much. There's definitely a timing glitch here. I think it's actually Alpha Z P1. Maldi, I think, would be P3. Toman would be P4. So Toman got 12 seconds of penalties, so that's actually legit. Toman, I think, actually is off the podium. So I think it will actually end up being Alpha Z, Maldi, then Moncho.
Yeah.
I don't know if Toman actually has 4 seconds, 4 penalties.
Yeah, that must see. So that's 24 points that Maldi has gotten from this Grand Prix. No, wait, I don't know. Give me a second, it's gone weekend. I should go to results. There we go. So Maldi, in the end of it, he would have gotten around 29 points at this Grand Prix, and he will extend his gap over to, well, not really extend it. Well, he will extend his gap to Jamer, but not as in, like, Jamer hasn't scored any points. He scored 6 points out the whole weekend, so congratulations to him for scoring the points. Side effects busted it near the end. He's got 14, but that will not conclude it, because we've actually got interviews, haven't we?
We can have to get Maldi in, whether obviously he can join as well, I'm not sure.
Do you want me to just mute myself and you can just do it by yourself, because I need to go do something real quick. So I'll come back afterwards. Just you can do the interviews by yourself. I've been Sonic Pistol. Thank you guys for having me on. Goodbye.
I'm trying to get Maldi in the comment box. I'm not sure if Alpha Z is possible for an interview or not. Maldi? I think Alphas did win. I think it was because the gap was. Yeah, it might have been time glitch. Toman had 12 seconds penalties in the end, so we've realised that he's definitely out the podium.
So on P2?
In fact, should be P2, and I think maybe Moncho P3.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that might be the case. Also, is Alpha Z able to do an interview or not?
Who, sorry?
Do you think? Alpha Z?
Maybe.
I'll try and invite him in for now if it's possible. But it's not with you, Maldi, anyway. Well, your race was, an absolute rollercoaster, I think. Certainly in the second half of the lap. Obviously, we'll mention the Burmerson incident. Obviously, I just saw you yellow flags, you having a 5-second time penalty, and with no front wing. I was a little bit baffled what happened there. But apart from that, you had a great comeback, and you managed to get a solid P2 in the end there. So, just give a rundown.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused. We'll sort out the results, but well, I've had a little collision with Yilmaz. I think it was literally I was on the inside, and he just literally turned, and we just crashed into each other. The stupid, front, I think rear wheel to front wheel, that sort of problem occurred. Um, and then I was behind side effects and alphas, and I was seeing that they were battling for DRS, and I would have been slowed down in sector 2. So I was going to box lap 17 for mediums. The opportunity could have came under virtual safety car. That could have worked for me, but I fortunately went past the pits. Yeah, for some mad reason, Ben Zuman just decides to, under virtual, just come and brake check me and take me out of the Grand Prix. Luckily, my wheel didn't come off. I lost I got a 5-second time penalty for it, and yeah. But you probably saw, I set the fast lap of the race. I was really on it. I was just pushing so hard on the medium stint to try and get these points back, because side effects was at the time was in like P1. JMO was, going to be quick on the restart. So I just wanted to try and get as many points as possible. But yeah, P2 or whatever it is would have been lovely to get P1, but P2 we can't. Yeah, and then next week we go to France, which is one of my favourite tracks. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, nonetheless, well done, Maddie, especially on that comeback. And now, I'm not sure. I don't know if I've ever heard actually Alvazy speak before, or whether Alvazy can do an interview or not. I don't know. Are you eligible for that? Oh, hello, he speaks. So yeah, I don't think it's the first time I think maybe I've done an interview with you.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's your very first victory in STB, so I think you're going to be very, very happy with the results. You had great pace today. Just give us a rundown
I won.
on how your race went.
I'm joking.
I still don't know. Have I won?
No, Alfred, you won because
yeah,
he was
I'm
4
pretty
seconds
you
in front of me,
definitely
and he
won.
had a 3-second
You
time
definitely
anyway, so you won.
Timing,
You
there's
won.
definitely a timing glitch there.
But I
Yeah,
still got
well,
fastest lap. Carry on, sorry.
Yeah, it was a great race with side effects. But unfortunately, he spun, but he had better pace. And I messed up in the sprint in turn 1 because I wasn't focusing. But my pace brought it back. I'm happy with it.
Well, yep, it was a great race for you in the end. Obviously, great comeback for you there. Congratulations on your victory, your very first STB victory here in Tier 3 for the Austrian Grand Prix. And obviously, we'll see you next time in France for next week. So, thank you very much, Alpha, and congratulations on your win. And
Thanks.
And we'll be back next week as usual for Monday for the Tier 1 French Grand Prix. Obviously back in the come box with Maldi and Pistol. I'll be back on the grid, and obviously France, you'll see people flying off the circuit in these giant escape roads. But we will see you then for the French Grand Prix back on Monday as usual. We'll see you then. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.